Good morning, hockey fans, and welcome back to Royally Quacked. Hopefully, you've had enough coffee, you've had breakfast, and now we're going to have basically our end of
Cheers.
season podcast because we're going to the playoffs.
Playoffs.
And the miracle is they're both teams are in it.
Yeah.
So
Even though it was ugly how we got in, but we made it.
it's really been ugly, hasn't it, Cody? I mean, honestly, we lose to the two of the bottom dwellers of the Pacific, and if we beat both of them, we're playing Edmonton again.
Yeah.
But instead, you are. So
Yeah. We already got someone in the Instagram chat, Bari Legend, the restaurant. He says,
Hey.
have a great day and an awesome show. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
I know we're gonna have to find him at a game and say hi and everything.
Yeah.
He also says good morning.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
good morning.
maybe go have a road trip and have dinner there.
Yeah. That'd be
So
great.
I've heard nothing but great things about that restaurant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we already got Captain Chaos. We're gonna beat Edmonton like you guys couldn't. I mean,
it's funny, Adam.
I was kind of hoping
I
for
want you
round
guys to beat Edmonton. I want you to beat Edmonton. So
well, I do, because you know what happens if we do, and you guys, my hot take will be right. That the Ducks would win a playoff series before the Kings.
Did you not see my text to you earlier this week?
No.
I hope your prediction comes true.
Oh, I thought you were saying something different.
No, I was talking about that.
Got it. We got Jerry Am 90 on the Instagram chat, and good morning, fellas. Good morning to you too. Yeah. Adam Cody might be right for once. I mean, I'll take it. And I've said this. What? Even before last season, even the year before that, I can't remember when I said it. We also got Kevin. I hope I'm saying your name right. Shekel.
That's how I'd say it.
Yep. And he says hello. So hello to you too. Man, I love the chat. The chat is live this morning.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to the
I've been
playoffs.
up since 6:30 because I had to go out on a call. So, because I'm on call for work. So if you guys see me getting off, it's because I'm taking care of a phone call.
I'm not on call. We really don't want that to happen because I don't want to do this by myself.
Yes. What's DP? DP?
Downplay?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Adam says, good morning and happy late birthday, Mama Quack. Yes, it was her birthday last Saturday. Yeah. And he says so Shekel is right. And then my favorite horror movie guy, I guess, Michael Myers, says hello. Sorry, you haunted me as a kid, so
what's funny is I've umpired with the guy Michael Myers. I don't think that's the same one.
I think wasn't he the short one?
Yeah, short guy. Yeah, Michael Myers.
All right, and then Shekel says, what's your favorite hockey team? I mean, obviously, Ducks, and then
obviously
the Royally Spoiled guy is the Kings. And then Mom says, thank you, Adam.
Two-time Stanley Cup champion.
Bari says, yes, Ducks will beat Edmonton 4-3 game series. So he's predicting a 7-game series between them.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I love good hockey.
Yes, I do too. All right,
I mean, even if my team's not in it, I still like to watch the playoffs. I still feel invested. And it's like I said, this podcast isn't just about our teams, it's about hockey itself. So anyways.
All right, well, let's get into some team news. I'll start. Okay. The San Diego Gulls are back in the Calder Cup playoffs. So congratulations to them. They've looked a lot better this year than they have in years past. So, I'm happy. You know, both our teams, all 4 teams really, are in the playoffs.
You know, it's funny. Adam just said we all umpired with him and his son. Yes, he had a son also. I even had a dentist named Michael Myers. That would freak me out.
I would find a new dentist.
Yeah. He's coming over with the drill and the mask on.
No, if you guys would have, after what happened with my childhood trauma with Michael Myers, if you guys would have taken me to the dentist, like, oh yeah, here's, Michael Myers, your dentist, I would have ran out of there. You would have saw a Cody-shaped hole through their wall.
I had forgotten how much you hated horror movies back then.
Yeah, I still can't stand them. I'm not a horror movie person. And Adam says goals did not look good last night against the Rain. Well, the Rain are. We'll get into that and when my dad talks about his Kings news. But speaking of goals, the Anaheim Ducks have agreed to a multi-year contract extension with the goals head coach Matt McElvain. So he's staying on for a few more years, which is good. He was very promising when he came down. So good for McElvain to get some more years there and more steady coaching, because for as long as I can remember, the goals have gone through coaches like crazy. I want to say like in 4 years, they went through like 3 or 4 coaches. Let's see. They said, what? No way. And do you like the Baggers?
I think it might be Badgers.
Badgers?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I like the Badgers or not.
Are we talking about
if they beat Edmonton, I like them.
I think and they said I think the Stars will win the cup. They have a good chance.
Stars
very good team. They're very deep.
Very good team. Yeah, very deep team.
All right, next up on the Ducks news, we have Troy Terry did something that a lot of baseball pitchers have never done.
Throw a no-hitter?
Actually, yes. Troy Terry had 80 games, or no, not 80 games. I forgot how many games he played. I'll have to look it up, but he had a no-hit streak up until the game against Vancouver. It's funny.
Are you talking about he didn't hit anybody?
Yes, he had 0 hits all year, and I knew about it for about a month. I did not say anything because you do not say anything when people have a no-hitter.
In hockey, the coach should have been talking to him.
Yeah, but that's not really Troy Terry's game ever. But yeah, it's funny because I saw the hit, and in my mind, I'm like, oh crap. Did Troy Terry just get a hit? And sure enough, that's the game. That's the hit they counted. So I think he now has 2 hits. So Troy Terry he's the first player in NHL history to go 50 games with 0 hits. And I think he went more than that. So it was up until that Vancouver Canucks game where he finally got his first hit of the season. So, wow. Yeah,
I had no idea that was. That tells me that's maybe one of the good reasons that our defense isn't as good, because hits help put your defense out.
The only thing is
the other team down.
The only thing is, the more hits you have, that means the less you have the puck.
Not necessarily. The hits sometimes get you the puck. So it's a lot like 50-50 balls in soccer. You win that, you usually win the game. You hit, you get the puck back, you usually win the game.
Yeah, true. You got ducked up on Instagram. Actually, it was 58 games before he registered the hit. So thank you. You got ducked up on Instagram. Appreciate that. Kelly So Cool says Robertson and Johnston have been killing it. Yeah, I've heard they're both great goal scorers. And then Kevin Sheckle says, do you like baseball? Yes, we're a baseball family too. Our team is someone we're not very proud of, but they've been playing better. Hey, so we're both Angels fans.
Trout out homered Judge in the series. In New
Trout
York.
did something that no player has ever done against the Yankees in a series.
Yeah, 5 home runs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we love baseball, by the way.
Yeah. So appreciate you. You got ducked up on that. You gave me the salute emoji on Instagram. Next up on the Ducks news is the Ducks have recalled Tristan Luneau from the goals. So the Ducks add a 9th defenseman to the lineup.
And they put him back down.
Did they already put him back down?
That's what I thought I read. You might want to check on that.
I will check up on
that.
You
can move on to the other news. You can check it when I'm doing my news. And
Jerry M90 on Instagram says Suriano is on fire for the Angels as well.
Yeah, he has been awesome. Yeah.
And then last bit of news for the Ducks is that the Jeffrey Viel and John Carlson trades are completely finished. And that's because we were waiting on a couple of we're waiting for the season to end because the Jeffrey Viel one was, let me pull it up here. They got the earlier of Anaheim's 2 4th-round picks between Philadelphia and Detroit. And since Philadelphia made the playoffs and Detroit did not, it's now Detroit's 4th-round pick in 2026. That's for the Jeffrey Viel trade. And for the John Carlson one, the condition was if the Ducks made the playoffs, it would be the 2026 first-round pick. And the Ducks made the playoffs, so that's the thing. Let's see. DeSound says, didn't the Angels put BTA against the oh yeah, they did. They did beat the ass against the Angels, against the Padres last night. And then and then you got ducked up says, yeah, he got sent down yesterday. I must have just didn't get the notification.
That's okay. Adam said Trout made history on a losing team. Glad I'm a Dodger fan. When you spend over $500 million to put a team out, you should be winning the World Series every year.
Yeah.
It was over like $530 million or something like that. It's crazy. I mean, the Angels spent less than $200 million last year. So it's more than double what the Angels spent. So obviously, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you better win.
Yeah.
So
Adam also says if Luneau was sent back to the goals, he did not play last night in Ontario. Yeah, that's because he was probably coming back from Nashville, and maybe just since he got, because I'm guessing I don't know if the Ducks are coming home and then going straight to Edmonton. Adam taking a shot at that. I mean, I agree with you. Can't help be a generous owners and not a cheap. You're 100% on that.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you got to win. And the Dodgers have been doing that. And, as long as they keep doing that and buying all this talent, you're going to be at least competitive for it. So, and maybe he'll sell to someone who is willing to do that, and we can get another World Series championship for the Angels. But back to hockey, guys.
real quick, we got 2 more comments on the Instagram chat. I'm loving this. I love the chat is live right now. You got ducked up says, having given up the 2026 first rounder, we better re-sign Carlson. I 100% agree with you on that. And then also Bari Legend says, what are the chances the Ducks versus Kings if both teams go farther in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, the only way they do that, unless
if they meet in the semifinal,
they play for the conference championship.
Yeah. So that means
the Kings are at the bottom, the Ducks are on the top, I think, of the one I saw online. So the only way they meet is to the winner of that series would move on to the Stanley Cup. Wouldn't that be amazing that we have both of our teams go and just upset all these teams that are favored? It would be what a story for Southern California it would be if that did happen. But let's be really realistic here. The Kings have to go against the best team in hockey right now, which is the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
And, they're incredible. I mean, just
Yeah,
incredible with the talent.
The Kings would have to beat the Avalanche and then beat the winner of Wild and Stars just to get to the semifinal. The Ducks have a little bit of an easier path, if anything, because you still have to go through Edmonton first, and then you play the winner of Mammoth and Vegas, and either team could be very dangerous, to be honest. And so that's the only way both teams could really meet is, the Kings would have to beat the Avalanche first, then one of the Stars or Wild, then the Ducks have to beat the Oilers, who've been to the Stanley Cup the last 2 years, and then beat the winner of Vegas and Utah. And then you got Duck that says, the Ducks came home, are practicing here, and then flying out, I believe, tomorrow.
I'd love to see the Yetis beat Vegas.
We have a prediction challenge. I already set up the bracket, so that's who I picked. But I'll let you start talking about your Kings news.
Oh, is there another team in this podcast? I didn't know.
On to league news.
Yeah. Well, we'll quickly say what Adam popped in here. Kings have to go through Colorado, Dallas. They'll be lucky to survive Colorado in 5 games. Totally agree with you, Adam. I mean, if they don't win the Stanley Cup, man, they just dominated this year. Yeah. And it's like I said, wouldn't it be just fantastic that we played each other in the conference? I just think that, and then whoever wins that goes on and gets the cup. What a story it would be the biggest upset season in hockey history. So now it's your job, Adam, to make it happen. On to Kings news. So as Cody said earlier about the Gulls, they're in the Calder Cup playoffs, but the Reign are in first place in the Pacific Division of the AHL, which is a pretty tough division to be first place in. And this is after what a lot of change went on with that team. New coach who has done a fantastic job down there. And we've seen like Jared Wright come up. Kenny Connors, I think, came up. I'm not sure he played much. But, I mean, Jared Wright looks like a real deal right now. He's played really well with the Kings. In fact, Malott has been – I know he's been kind of hurt, but I think Wright's been playing so well. He might be just on the bench and maybe even into the playoffs. We'll see what happens with that. But probably the biggest Kings news is, first ballot Hall of Famer and for the NHL. Obviously, the Kings' greatest goalie of all time. He's retiring after 20 years in the NHL. Jonathan Quick.
Not to mention has the most wins as a U.S.-born goalie.
And that's a fact too. The thing is one thing I would have just loved before the season starts next year, sign him to a 1-day contract and he retires a King. I would love to see that happen. I'm not sure that's in his plan or not, because I think he left with a little bit of sour taste in his mouth, which I can't say I really blame him. And I honestly, as much as I love Jonathan Quick, I think the Kings needed to make that move anyways. I think it helped him last even longer.
Yeah.
So they did him a favor to do that, but I'd certainly love to see him retire as a King. And obviously we're going to be seeing a statue outside of Staples Center with Jonathan Quick on it, and eventually Anze Kopitar, and then probably Drew Doughty. So
yeah.
Going back.
Hold on. We got some new chats real quick. Barry says, see you guys at the Ducks game on Friday. I'm probably not going to be able to go.
I know I can't.
And then you got ducked up just before you started talking about Kings news. He said, Kings talk, I'm out. He said, haha, JK. He said, gotta go do dad. Nice chatting. Let's go Ducks. Thank you. Let's go Ducks. And then to Sound, we haven't heard from him in a while, he says, Kings versus Ducks Western Conference Final, I think would really reinvigorate the rivalry and draw a lot more eyes to the sport, since it seems like hockey is gaining a bit more popularity recently. And then Steven with 3 N's says Jonathan Quick won't re-sign the 1-day contract. And then he also says Kopi, Quick, statue, probably not Drew. I think they're all getting a statue. Now, what I would like to see is kind of like what the Penguins did with Fleury. Is
let him start
have him play like, you know, in a preseason game, let him get that last hurrah. And
I like that, Cody. I like that a lot.
That way he finishes in a Kings jersey for real, and he gets that last standing ovation. And then we also have JC Kawhi. I hope I'm saying your last name right. She says go Ducks. And then Adam says, I can't see Quick having a good-looking statue outside Staples. Well, his number is definitely getting retired, for sure.
Well, good-looking isn't anything part of it, Adam. You ought to know.
He says Quick would want to play with Kopi, and maybe Kopi plays in that last preseason game too, with Quick and Drew. And maybe have Brown go out and play for
that would be so cool. boy, we're really getting off on.
Okay, go ahead and keep
going.
Going.
Back to King. Meanwhile, back in LA, the NHL first star of the week last week was Anton Forsberg, who went 3-0 with a 0.97 goals against average and a .964 save percentage and 1 shutout. And I'm just wondering, if we didn't play Kemper in that one game, would we? Well, probably what was it? 2-point difference. What? There's the pot calling the kettle black.
Because you usually will cut me off and talk about King stuff when I'm talking about Duck stuff.
Anyways,
sorry.
So, anyways, I think we made a mistake there because Forsberg was hot. Anyways, on Mayor's Manor, the Kings fans are voting for the leaders of the 2025-26 season. Best newcomer. I think all these are going to be winners. I don't think the voting had been completely counted yet, but Artemi Panarin was the best newcomer. Outstanding defenseman was Brant Clark. Best defensive player was Anze Kopitar, and the team MVP was Jared Wright. No, I'm Adrian Kempe, of course. So I don't know if all the voting's finished with that. It might be finished by next week, and I'll have an update. But the percentages were so crazy in all these guys' favor. I bet you they're already the winners. So
wait, you're telling me team MVP wasn't Jim Hiller? Steven 71 says a man can wish. I think he was saying about my preseason getting Kopi, Brown, Quick, and Drew out there. And then G Billich says, kind of surprised how much hate Ducks are getting, and all the talking heads on TV saying we're going to get swept. I don't think we're going to get swept, but I think it's going to be a good series. And then Steven 71 says CC gotta go next season and bring up Booth. If you can find someone to take,
I totally agree with.
You just got to find someone to take that contract.
Good luck with that. Can't they still buy him out?
So that means, while you keep going, and I'm gonna find out that buyout calculator. I know Puckpedia has one. Okay,
so we're gonna go on to league news. So I guess I'm gonna be doing a bit of league news by myself here while Cody looks that up. The Colorado Avalanche are signing top collegiate free agent forward TJ Hughes. And I think he's up for the Hobie Baker too. Also, University of Denver wins the 2026 NCAA National Championship in men's hockey with a 2-1 win over Wisconsin. This is their 11th title and the third under head coach David Carl from 2022, 2024, and 2026. Prediction: if he doesn't leave, maybe they're going to win in 2028 again. Who has won the World Junior Gold and Team USA in 24 and 25? The Canadians defenseman Noah Dobson is out 2 weeks with an upper body injury. David Rickenbacker has been recalled from Laval. Seasons in the NHL history where defending Stanley Cup champions and President Trophy winners both missed the playoffs. Well, 2024, 2015, the Kings and Bruins did it. And then 25 and 26, the Panthers and Jets did it. And the New Jersey Devils have hired Sonny, I guess that's a Mehta, as the new GM. And shut up, Adam.
Hold on. All right, I finally got it. I'll help out Gary. League news: the regular season over. Playoffs tomorrow. That's all. All right, so I have the Cody CC buyout. So he has 3 years left. So you would have 6 years of salary. The first year would be his original cap hit's 4.5. You'd be paying $3.5 million for the first year, 2.5 for the second year, a little over $1 million for the last 4 years. So I mean, you're going to save,
or you leave him. You don't get rid of him. He's the 7th defenseman. That's the other option. So, and
then Barry Legend says, you guys deserve more followers than subscribers. I want more subscribers on YouTube. That would help too. Steven says CC and a 4th for a 6th round pick. And then Steven says he would do the buyout.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. Where'd you last leave off on the league news?
We're going to Rick Bowness.
Rick Bowness has officially signed a 1-year extension to remain the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm a little shocked after what he said against for the players against for Columbus. He told them that he wants to change the culture and they don't care about losing. Really said that in a post game interview that he said the other night. Steven says watching him play is terrible. He's talking about CC, obviously. I haven't watched much Kings this year. So, I mean, he's always performed well in playoffs, I believe. So you never know. He could turn on the switch. Then I'll knock out the last bit since you took the first.
I was going to already recommend that. Go ahead.
Yeah. The Chicago Blackhawks have signed general manager Kyle Davidson to a multi-year contract extension. Good for them. And Alex Ovechkin is the 5th player in NHL history to play all 82 games in a season at the age of 40 or older. I think, do I have who else did it? Let's see. I know it was, here it is. Alex Ovechkin did it. Jaromir Jagr did it twice in 13, 14, and 16 and 17. Nicholas Lindstrom did it in 2010, 2011. Timu Solani in 11 and 12. And then Dave Anderchuk did it in 03, 04. And then Vancouver have fired general manager Patrick Alvin after finishing with the worst record. I never thought someone would get fired for someone that doesn't really do their job. Because in Vancouver, Jim Rutherford runs that show, not Patrick Alvin. So, and then last bit of league news before we get into game recaps is the Stars have re-signed defenseman Niels Lundqvist to a 2-year, $1.75 million AAV contract.
Awesome.
And then Steven says, do you think Kobe wanted to retire, or are the Kings doing what they did to Brown to him as well? I think he wanted to retire. I mean, because I don't think Brown did the announcement. I think Brown was like,
he made the decision
like later in the season, right?
Yeah, it was after the It was like in January or something, because they had a night for him and where they talked about it in February, and then they obviously had that last home game they celebrated with him.
Yeah, and Kopi did his well before the.
He did it before the season started.
They have Brown the boot, and then he says they didn't want to re-sign him. No, I think with Kopitar it was different. And Adam, trivia question: what comes first, Kings win a playoff round, or Yager retiring? What do you think comes first?
Yager retiring?
I think Yager retiring is going first.
Yeah, that's what I think.
All right. Game recaps. I'll let you start since you have 4 games to talk about and I have 3.
Well, the first game, obviously, we did our predictions and stuff, and I was leading going into the last week of it. I didn't do so well the last week. Let's go to the scoring. We played Edmonton in LA, and at the 7:34 mark of the first period, Artemi Panarin gets his 28th unassisted. 1-0 Kings. End of scoring. Believe it or not, against Edmonton, the end of scoring.
I would never predicted that.
1 goal. And I watched a bit of this game, and I have even hammered on Byfield a lot this year, but I got to tell you, this last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been probably their best player. I mean, every time McDavid was on the ice, Byfield was on the ice. And I'm not saying Byfield did it all by himself, because there's nobody that can stop McDavid one-on-one. But he did such a good job of staying close with the help of his teammates, and they shut out the Oilers. The Kings were outshot in this game 27-21. But in the faceoffs, here's where Draisaitl would have made a huge difference. The Kings had a 55.6%, Edmonton 44.4%. Wow. Both teams were 0 for 1 on the power play. The hits, Kings 30, Edmonton 28. Block shots, 21 for the Kings, 16 for Edmonton. Giveaways, 10 for the Kings, which seems like a really low number compared to every other time I've talked about that. Edmonton gave away 15 giveaways, and the takeaways were 6 for the Oilers and 4 for the Kings. It was not what you call an exciting game. The 3 stars of the game, the guy who scored the game-winning goal was the 3rd star. The 2nd star shut out Edmonton. That was Anton Forsberg. And then obviously number 1 star of the game is the retiring Anze Kopitar with 0 goals, 0 assists, and 0 points.
But he's Kopitar.
He's Kopitar. Will be sorely missed, and what a class act he is.
Yeah. Steven71 says Byfield more inconsistent on scoring than Troy Terry laying a body check.
I would have said that, but he scored 8 or 9 goals in the last couple of weeks.
Hey, Bari is in the YouTube chat. How you doing? All right, on to my first game.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the Ducks played their last home game of the season on Sunday against the league's worst, and let me emphasize that, league's worst team. And I can tell you this, I've been to the pond many times for games. I would say this was the loudest I've ever heard the pond during a whole game. The first time it was the home opener this year. So that should tell you a lot. But the chants were crazy in this game. The we want playoffs chant, the USA chants, because we were playing against a Canadian team. let's go. It was loud and pretty consistent throughout the whole game. And we'll get into the scoring. So the Ducks score first, which has been happening a lot more than normal lately. So that's good. That was Cutter's 39th goal of the season right there. Chris Kreider's 27th assist and Cloran's 18th assist. So that makes it 1-0 Anaheim. And then Curtis Douglas, who gets his first career goal. God, if I had a penny for every time the Ducks gave up a first career goal in the last 5 years, I'd probably be a millionaire. So we're tied 1-1. And then Jake DeBrusk on the power play gets his 21st of the year to make it 2-1 Anaheim and 2-1 Vancouver. And in normal Anaheim fashion, they score first and give the lead right away. And then that was in the first period. We had no scoring in the second period. And then the Ducks get a power play, but then Brock Besser gets his 22nd of the year and scores a shorthanded goal. Makes it 3-1 Vancouver. But then on that same power play, Cutter Gauthier gets his 40th of the year and makes it 3-2 Vancouver, and that was at the 5:05 mark. Jackson Lacombe with his 47th assist and McTavish's 23rd assist. And then Uncle Leo gets his 29th of the year and ties on a nice little backhander. He just waited and just threw it back in, and it went in, and we were tied 3-3 with, and that was at the 6:56 mark. And we get no scoring, and then we go into overtime. So the Ducks get that very important point in that. But then the Ducks, Chris Kreider takes, I would say, a very soft call, and Vancouver gets a power play in overtime with, I want to say there was 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in overtime, and they were 2 seconds away from the power play being over, and then 9.5 seconds away from the game going to a shootout. But Marco Rossi scores the game winner in overtime, and especially in a very important, if the Ducks win, they were in, so that's why the crowd was going, we want playoffs, because if the Ducks won, they were in the playoffs. Let's see, and we'll go into the stats. The Ducks outshot them 27-26. The faceoff percentage 53-47. Ducks were 1 for 2 on the power play, and Vancouver was 2 for 3. 26 hits for the Ducks, including 1 for Troy Terry. 9 block shots, 22 giveaways, 6 giveaways, and the Ducks lost the season series to the league's worst team, 3-1. Your 3 stars of the game, you had Marco Rossi with the 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points as the number 3 star. Uncle Leo was the number 2 star with the 1 goal. And then Cutter Gauthier with the 2 goals is your number 1 star. And then let's see. We'll look in the Instagram chat. Steven says, not saying I want this to happen, but imagine a Ducks Flyers final. Cutter versus Zegras. That would be funny. Let's see. And then Adam says Byfield is still overrated. I'm not even going to try to... Ozcon Kral says, hi guys. What are you talking about, brother? Ducks and Kings hockey, obviously. Thank God you joined here. We can't understand anything you're saying. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that. So the Ducks lose to Vancouver 4-3 in overtime. On to your next one.
So we go to Seattle to play the Kraken, who typically they pretty much have our number. Let's go to the scoring to start the game. Mr. Overrated, Quentin Byfield, gets his 21st unassisted at 2:43 to put the Kings up 1-0. And Mr. Overrated, unassisted, gets his 22nd. at the 13-19 mark, and the Kings are up 2-0. That's how the first period ends. Then in the second period, Trevor Moore gets his 13th from Laferriere, his 21st, and the Kings are up 3-0. And that's how the second period ends. So the Kings at 2 periods beaten Seattle in Seattle 2-0. But the third period, Seattle just never goes away when they play the Kings. Adam Larson gets his 7th from Beniers, his 29th, and Schwartz's 15th at the 1:53 mark on a wrist shot, and it's 3-1 Kings. And Frederick Gaudreau gets his 7th from Kako, his 27th, on a snapshot, and it's 3-2 Kings. But I obviously team MVP Adrian Kempe gets his 35th from Kopitar, his 25th, and Moore his 17th. 4-2 Kings. Bobby McMahon, who they picked up at the trade deadline, gets his 29th from Beniers, his 30th, and Stevenson his 33rd. And it's now a 4-3 game. But at the end, Alex Laferriere on the power play and an empty netter from Edmonton is 21st, and it's 5-3 Kings. That's how the game ends. We'll go to the stats real quick here. Let me just a sec.
All right, well, while you're doing that, Adam says, glad you're getting on board with that, Gary, with Byfield being overrated. Deuce says, Instagram Live kept crashing, so I had to switch to YouTube. And he wants to say, I want to understand the hate that Cody Ceci gets. To me, he's only gotten better over the season, and he seems to have gotten a good amount of hustle and effort. And then he also says, I understand it's a pretty bad contract for the Kings, but look at the clutch save he pulled against Edmonton when the one was slipping past Forsberg.
Well, you know, he's an NHL player. They're going to make good plays.
I think it's the contract that has everyone.
The contract is what makes it the whole thing majorly overpaid for him.
Yes.
I honestly would have felt better and I think they did that just because it was Kopi's last season. So they spent a lot of money to try to at least give him some veteran help on the blue line. But, you know, we made the playoffs. That's all we can say about that. I'm going to go to the stats for this Kings-Seattle game. Shots on goal, Seattle 33, Kings 30. Again, we won the faceoff battle, 55.4% to 44.6. On the power play, we were 1 for 2 at 50%. Seattle, we didn't even give them a power play. The hits were 20 Seattle, 16 Kings. Block shots, 18 Kings, 11 Seattle. Giveaways, again, we won that one 19-11, which is, you don't want to win it that way, but we did. And takeaways, they had 5, we had 2. Let's go to the 3 stars of the game. Matty Beniers was the 3rd star with 2 assists. Trevor Moore with a goal and assist was the 2nd star, and with 2 goals, Quentin Byfield was the 1st star. On to your next game, Cody.
Okay, real quick. Steven says, Trevor Moore has been playing so much better than Laff and Byfield lately. Then also says, no, CC just suck at hockey. I hate that he's on the PK. If Kempe can play forward and defensive, he can play for him. I'm looking at Cody Ceci's hockey stat cards on hockeystatcard.com. He's a negative 8.6 offensive rating, but a plus 2.1 defensive rating. So he does pretty well on defensively. So I just wanted to add to that. All right, so now the Ducks head up to Minnesota and play against the Iowa Wild. Yes, you heard me say that right. They play against the Iowa Wild. They pretty much sat all their main players. You know, there was no Kaprizov, no Boldy, no Faber, no Spurgeon, no Quinn Hughes, none of. So first period, bless you. Mason McTavish gets on the board with his 16th of the year on the power play. Lacombe gets his 48th assist and Paling's 24th assist. And 1-0 Anaheim at the 10 27 mark. And then Danila Yurov gets his 12th of the season and ties it up at the 16:42 mark. So in normal fashion, the Ducks score first and give the lead almost instantly. And then in the second period, again, Hunter Height gets his first career goal against the Ducks. I feel like it happens almost every week. And that takes the lead 2-1. And that was at the 11:24 mark. That was only goal in the second period. And we go into third period, and Ducks legend Robbie Fabry gets his second of the season and just barely squeaks behind Dostal. Makes it 3-1 Minnesota, and that was at the 13:03 mark. And Mason McTavish scores again at the 19:14 mark on a tip-in shot, and that was his 17th of the year. And Granlund got his 19th assist and Cutter's 28th assist. So the Ducks fall to the Iowa Wild. Yes, you heard that right. Iowa Wild, 3-2. The stats: Ducks did outshoot Iowa Wild 37-20. We win the faceoffs 53-47. The Ducks were 1 for 3 on the power play, and Minnesota was 0 for 1. 16 hits for Ducks, 7 block shots, 27 giveaways, and 4 takeaways. But the main thing about this game was how well Jesper Wallstedt played. And I don't know if you saw this or not, Dad, or if anyone else saw this, but I guess there was a little prank involved during this game, because in the first period, Jesper Wallstedt, his last name is Wallstedt, his jersey said Wallstead.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
It was spelled completely different. And I guess they talked about him after the game, because I believe he was the first star. Yeah. And I guess it was a prank. And he has suspicion that it was Gustafsson that made the jersey swap. And Wallstedt said he didn't even notice until I believe the Ducks scored that goal. And he looked on the Jumbotron and he noticed that his last name was spelled wrong. So I guess it was a prank, not a mishap. But here's your 3 stars of the game. Height with this first career goal is the number 3 star with the 1 goal. Danila Yurov, sorry, is the number 2 star with the 1 goal. And Jesper Wallstedt, who we got goalied in this game. I'm not going to lie. We got goalied. He's the number 1 star with the 946 save percentage and only gave up the 2 goals. And that's it for our second game.
So go to Vancouver, Kings against Vancouver. And we'll go to the scoring first. First period, Elias Pettersson, the forward, gets his 3rd. Or maybe that's a defenseman. That has to be the defenseman, right?
Who?
They have 2 Elias Petterssons on that team, right?
So
yeah.
Yes, they have 2. Yes.
So it has to be the defenseman because it's only his 3rd goal, because the other guy's going to score more than that.
I don't know.
Anyways. Yeah. He's not maybe the $8 or $9 million or $11 million guy that they're paying for, but he's better than that. He got his 3rd goal at the 9:21 mark to put Vancouver up 1-0. But Quentin Byfield ties the game up at the 17:15 mark on an assist from Laferriere, his 22nd, and Moore his 18th. So after the first period, it's tied 1-1. Then Jake DeBrusk on the power play in the second period gets his 22nd from Besser his 26th and Hronik his 41st at the 52-second mark, and Vancouver's up 2-1. Then Adrian Kempe gets his 36th from Kopitar his 26th and Panarin his 56th at the 1:04 mark to tie the game 2-2. Then the Kings do take the lead on Alex Laferriere's 21st from Doughty his 18th and Byfield his 25th, and it's 3-2 Kings. But Steve Boyum ties the game up at the 9:20 mark with his 6th goal from Hoglander, his 3rd, and Pettersson his 35th. And the third period ends with a tied 3-3. In overtime, 2:58 in, Jake DeBrusk gets his 23rd from Pedersen, his 36th, and Willander his 16th. And Vancouver defeats the Kings 4-3 in overtime. Let's go to the stats. Shots on goal, Kings 34 to Vancouver's 25. This is just the opposite of all the other games. In the faceoff circle, Vancouver 62.9%, Kings 37.1. That is awful. Kings were 0 for 2 on the power play. Vancouver was 1 for 2. The Kings had 18 hits, 13 blocks, 10 giveaways, and 3 takeaways. Let's go to the 3 stars of the game. And we have the 3rd star, Quentin Byfield, with a goal and an assist. 2nd star with 2 goals was Jacob DeBrusk. And Zeev Buium was the number 1 star with a goal.
All right. Steven says on the IG chat, Kings play terrible in Vancouver. And he says Kings let no name score on them. I know that. I know that feeling as a Ducks fan. Adam says, I'll trade Travis House, trade it for CC. And we got Cody Burris about Hall of Fame last night went to black screen of death. I don't know about the Hall of Fame thing. Adam says Wallstat should have kept the jersey on the way he was playing. And I'm gonna just tell you this. I'm looking up his stat card. He had a 4.65 goals save expected. He saved 4.6 more goals than he should, or he should pretty much let in 4.6 goals. But that's how well he played. Yeah.
I'm not sure you explained that exactly.
I'm horrible at the advanced stats thing.
He should have given up 4.65 goals and he gave up
2.
Or maybe he should have given up 6. Maybe that's a save goals.
I'm so bad with advanced stats. I really am. All right, but here we go. The Ducks in their last game of the regular season. If they win, then they are in either the 2nd spot or the 3rd spot. If they win. If they lose, then it all depended on how Edmonton did and how the Kings did. So if I believe the Ducks lost and the Kings won, I believe the Ducks were the wild card team and had to go against Avalanche. But if the Ducks, if the Ducks won and the Kings would have won and Edmonton would have lost, we could have seen a Ducks Kings playoff series. Adam says Cody should have just gave up on giving those stats. Yeah, no kidding. I was trying to just show how well Wallstat played in that game. But the Ducks head up to Nashville and take on the Predators. And again, they're getting better at this. The Ducks score first. Cutter Goody gets his 41st of the season. Ryan Poehling with his 25th assist and John Carlson's 45th of the season. And makes it 1-0 Anaheim, and that was at the 136 mark. And then in true fashion, the Ducks give up a goal almost instantly, or not instantly, but pretty close. Steven Stamkos gets his 41st of the year, and he ties it up 1-1 at the 10:09 mark. And then Philip Forsberg gets his 39th of the season on the power play. So now it's 2-1 Nashville at the 15:55 mark. And like I said, the Ducks score first, and then we give up the lead right away. Then Jackson Lacombe gets his 10th of the year and ties it up 2-2 at the 1939 mark. And that was Jacob Trouba got his 25th of the season, and Mason McTavish got his 24th assist of the season. So we're tied 2-2 after 1. So a very goal-heavy first period. In the second period, Alex Killer gets on the board and makes it 3-2 Anaheim. John Carlson got his 46th assist, and Granlund got his 20th assist. And that was at the 4:33 mark. And then, like I said, the Ducks take the lead and they give it right back. Philip Forsberg got his 40th of the season, ties it up 3-3 at the 14:37 mark. And then Steven Stamkos on the power play gets his 42nd on and makes it 4-3 Nashville at the 15:23 mark. So literally within 50 seconds, we had the lead and then lost the lead. It's ridiculous. And then, like I said earlier, we're gonna hear Tristan Luneau's name later, and here it is. He made a season debut against Nashville, and he scores to tie it up at the 4:17 mark in the third period. Very important goal. And then Mikael Granlund gets his 21st assist, and then Viel got his 7th assist. And then I want to say with 5 minutes left, Nashville takes a high sticking penalty, and Troy Terry got hit in the face again. God, I want to say he should just wear a bubble full time because he gets in the face a lot. But he drew blood, so it was a double minor. And who scores the power play goal? Troy Terry gets his 19th of the season to make it 5-4 Anaheim. And that was within the first 2 minutes of that power play. So the Ducks still had another full power play after that. But they didn't do anything with it. But Mikael Granlund got his 22nd assist and Leo Carlson's 38th assist. And the Ducks win this one 5-4. Here are the stats for the game. The Ducks outshot them 40-21. We won the faceoff percentage 51-49, so just barely. Sadly, the Predators were 2 for 3 on the power play, and the Ducks were 1 for 6. The Ducks had 16 hits, 11 block shots, 13 giveaways, and 5 takeaways, and the Ducks did win the season series 2-1. And your 3 stars of the game. It's funny how the Ducks win and there's not a single Duck on the 3 stars. Luke Evangelista is your number 3 star with 2 assists. Philip Forsberg, 2 goals and 2 points. He's your number 2 star. And Stamkos with the 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points is your number 1 star. And since the Ducks won, we will play the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. On to your next one and last one.
Okay. Well, let's go. There was actually no scoring when the Kings went to Calgary in the first period. But in the second period, Morgan Frost got his 22nd from Gridden his 14th and Coronado his 27th to put Calgary up 1-0. Then Quentin Byfield gets his 24th from Moore his 19th and LaFerriere his 23rd on a wrist shot at the 6:43 mark. It's tied 1-1. We go to the third period. It was all Calgary. Zane Parekh gets his 4th from White Cloud his 14th and Strome, ex-Mighty Duck Strome, his 13th to put Calgary up 2-1. That would be the game-winning goal. To finish it off on an empty netter, Joel Farabee gets his 20th from White Cloud his 15th, and it's at the 19:20 mark, and that's the final. It's 3-1 Calgary. The stats, Kings outshot them 28-20. They lost the faceoff circle. Calgary 55.2 to the Kings 44.8. Kings were 0 for 2 on the power play. Calgary was 1 for 3. Hits were 16 for Calgary, 12 for the Kings. 22 block shots, 22 for Calgary, 17 for the Kings. Giveaways, wow, Calgary gave away 26. Kings only gave away 13, yet they still lose 3-1. Takeaways, Kings won that 6-3. Let's go to the 3 stars of the game. It's Anze Kopitar was the 3rd star with 0 points, 0 assists. Parekh was the 2nd star with a goal.
That was a sweet goal, by the way. I forgot.
Yes. Sergev was the number 1 star with a 1.00 goals against average and a .964 save percentage. And that's how the regular season ended.
Yeah. All right. And so let's go into our predictions.
Yeah, let's do that. Let me just.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter.
All right, I'll go first. So the Ducks play on Monday. Let me fix that. I believe that's the 21st. Yeah, Monday the 21st. And they'll be in Edmonton. And I'm predicting a 5-3 loss. Just it's our first game. I think there's gonna be first game jitters, so I think it's gonna be a very weird first game. But I am predicting, and then the next game, double check. The next game is on the 22nd, so Wednesday the 22nd, and that's also in Edmonton. And I am predicting a 3-2 win. So the Ducks we're gonna go 1-1 in Edmonton, and then the next one will be in Anaheim. Thank God. The Ducks are finally getting games back in Edmonton. In Anaheim. Oh, I can't talk this morning. It's been a long morning for me. And I'm in that game. I am predicting. See what I put down? A 5-4 win. And so I'm predicting the Ducks will have a 2-1 series lead by the time we have another podcast next week. By the way, all the games, the game 1 you can watch on ESPN2, Victory Plus, and then Channel 13. And game 2, it's on Victory Plus, Channel 13, TBS, and HBO Max. And I believe it's the exact same thing. Oh no, sorry, it's TNT, True TV, HBO Max, Victory Plus, and Channel 13 for that one. And then I'll explain the rest of the games next week. Next week on what channel they'll be on and everything. So, I'm predicting the Ducks to have a 2-1 series lead.
All right. So let's go to the Kings prediction. First game is Sunday at noon. I have the Kings losing that game 5-2 to Colorado. Then they play Tuesday. Also in Colorado, I have the Kings losing that one in not really a shootout part, but 6-5. And then they come back to LA on the 23rd. Yeah, 23rd. And I'm gonna have them. This is gonna probably be the only game they win. I'm gonna have them win a 6-5 game, right there. So I have after this next week, the Kings being down 2-1 to Colorado, and then we'll go from there.
All right. I want to add something about the Ducks. So the Ducks do have this coffee shop open called the Playoff House. It's free to go. They got exclusive merch there that you can only get there. I believe you can watch the games there, and I believe they're also opening up the pond for games 1 and 2 when the Ducks are away for like a watch party at the pond. So go check it out. And the Ducks motto, and I like this motto a lot. I've heard some people hate it and love it. I like it, but it used to be painted orange back in the 2010s when they had those playoff series runs. But now it's called Fear of the Flock, and the reason why it's Fear of the Flock, and Ducks flock, and there's the OC and flock and stuff like that. So I like the new motto and stuff like that. So guys, go attend the watch parties. Go check out the Playoff House. I'm on call for work, so I can't leave the area really. So, but guys, support the Ducks. It's our first time being in the playoffs since 2018. Let's make it. Let's make a good run this year, and I hope the Ducks win the playoff series. So my hot take is right.
So what are you going to do if your hot take is wrong?
Cry. I'm just kidding.
That's okay. You can add them if that does happen.
Times.
You guys could cry together if you want to.
I've been wrong many times, so it probably wouldn't be any different. So we do have some people that commented on for question. I put up for question, comments, or hot takes. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Rosca_David says Anaheim Ducks will sweep the 2-time defending Western Conference champion Edmonton Oilers. That's a very hot take. The Sound says my brain says first round exit for both, but in my heart I so badly want Kings versus Ducks Western Conference Final. And then Bar McKay 92 says Kings will be swept and Ducks to get past the Oilers at least. And with a couple of these.
I guess
real men don't cry, we drink. I'm not much of a drinker. I mean, at least if, by the time the Ducks, well, we'll see how far it goes, but I don't think I'll be on call for the next, after I stop being on call next Friday morning is when I'm officially off call. So if it ends up being bad, I might drink a little bit. I'm not much of a drinker, to be honest, anyways. So, do you want to add anything else?
No, let's cheer on our Southern California teams.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can have that dream of playing in the Western Conference Finals. But
that would be crazy.
I mean, that's a dream.
Yeah. Real quick, I did put a QR code on the stream. I will also try to add it to for the audio listeners that we have out there. I will put it in the show notes. The bracket challenge for the NHL playoffs. If you scan the QR code, if you want the link, I'll send it to you as well. So let's see. Just says, not sure if this has been answered before because I'm still listening through the backlog of shows, but what is either your favorite player from your respective franchises? Are you talking about current or all time? Because right now, all time, Solani in Korea, obviously for me. But if I'd say currently right now, it's tough. I'll have to say like Leo or Cutter right now.
My all-time favorite King would, I think it's Lucky Luke, probably my favorite. Gretzky's in there because he was just such a special player to watch. Now Kopi. I love Kopi.
That's not gonna be current that much longer.
I know. I still hold out hope. I know Adam's given up on Byfield. I still have hope that he's going to become what they expect of him. I have hope for it. So, if you give up hope, then you don't have anything at all. So,
yeah.
Just to be honest with you. So,
yeah. But like I said, scan the QR code on the video if you guys want to join our playoff bracket challenge. I already put my bracket in there. I did it when I signed up. So if you guys want to do that and have some fun, bragging rights. He said either or both, so we already answered that. Adam says Oleg Trevodosky for his. That's a good one. I do have one question for you, Dad.
Oh God.
Who is your playoff starter for the Kings for goalie? Do you start Forsberg or Kemper?
Forsberg.
Okay.
I have no doubt in my mind. Go with the hot hand.
Yeah. Dusk says Byfield seems to only show up at the end of the season, which I've noticed that too. Yeah,
that has been a trend. It has, and I totally see that, and I understand. Adam is always picking on it because he just likes to get under my skin.
Adam said I always said that hoping you'd mess up the name. I'm not the one that messes up the names here. I mess up regular words, but not hockey names. There is one other thing I do want to say before we get out of here.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with hockey, but it has to do with Orange County and Anaheim. We lost an Anaheim legend yesterday. We lost Garrett Anderson, Anaheim Angels legend.
Yes.
Someone he was one of my favorite players growing up. And I remember when I got that notification, I don't think I've screamed what the hell or what so loud. It just was very shocking news to hear. He passed away from a sudden heart attack at the age of 53, I believe it was. It is someone I looked up to when I was playing baseball growing up. Even Adam says even that one hurt me because I feel like Anderson was someone that nobody hated him, no matter what team you supported. he didn't, he was just a really good player and everyone respected him. And he had such a sweet swing.
He did.
And I know the way he played defense, I wanted to do, and it pissed you off because he was really good at the basket catches. And he was so like nonchalant with his plays, and I tried to replicate that, and it pissed you off. When I was growing up. Of course, I did a lot of things playing that pissed you off, but that's a whole another thing. But I just want to say, like, I'm so sad to hear this, like, World Series winner with the Angels. He was on the Mask and the Mic with Guy Bear and Kent French too. I think he was their first guest. So yeah. I just want to say
he's definitely an Angels Hall of Famer. One thing with something like that happen makes you go, we get so busy with life.
Yeah.
That sometimes we forget to cherish the moments. We're trying, let's get through the day so I can be off work. But you really need to cherish. I am 15 years older than Garrett Anderson is.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if I was gone 15 years ago? I mean, I don't know what change that would make or anything else, but I mean, it seems like awful young to lose your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the one thing is he did play the sport he loved.
Yeah.
And he did it well. And he made it look easy. I think that was probably his biggest issue with a lot of people. He looked so nonchalant playing, they thought he wasn't trying.
Yeah.
He was just so good, he could get away with doing that. That's why I had an issue with that. With you.
I know.
Because I wanted you to learn the proper
I know. I understand.
The proper mechanics of how to play the game. And then when you become comfortable, if you want to be a hot dog or nonchalant and you make the play, what can anybody say to you? I mean, he obviously had a great career.
Yeah.
And he was a great player.
Yes. Yeah. And a great person.
Absolutely.
So our condolences to the Anderson family. And like I said, I just wanted to put that out there. I know it had nothing to do with Ducks or Kings, but an Anaheim legend should be respected. And someone I looked up to.
Absolutely.
And then one other thing I wanted to add before we get out of here. I hope everyone enjoyed that Phil Hewitt interview, because I can tell you, I enjoyed every second of it. Cody doesn't want to be the hot dog; he'd rather eat them. That is very true. Very true. But like I said, I hope everyone enjoyed that Phil Hewitt interview. He was so fantastic. Such an iconic voice at the pond, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Especially like the whole, the Toronto Maple Leafs game, and that chaotic thing. So even Adam said, absolutely awesome interview. I hope everyone enjoyed the Daryl Evans one and the Jesse Cohen one. We have another one next week as well. I'm gonna say who it is because I want people to know that, like, I'm working my butt off for you guys in this podcast. So someone that used to he used to work for the Ducks. He was the head athletic trainer for the Ducks back in the day. So he, in the early 2000s. His name is Chris Phillips. He's gonna do an interview with us next Saturday. So we'll have another double episode week for you guys. So I'm really excited for that. He's part of the Compete Sports Performance and Rehab. So if you guys want to check him out on Instagram, he was a guest interview on the Mask and the Mic with Kent French and Guy Bear. So I'm going to listen to that one again because I don't want to ask the same questions. I want to ask different ones because obviously their podcast is going to be bigger than ours. I mean, when you have the original Mighty Duck and Kent French, hard to compete with that.
True.
So, like I said, I'm super excited to have him on because I want to hear from all different kind of perspectives and on how like these teams run. You know, we had Jesse who started the first Kings podcast.
Yeah.
To having,
well, I'm not sure it was the first one, but the first
the main
official one.
Official
one. Yes.
Yeah. To having, Daryl Evans on, someone who's played for them and now he's on the broadcast team. To having Phil Hewitt, the PA announcer for the Ducks, and a backup for the Angels. To someone that's ahead of. We're getting all these different perspectives on the game of hockey, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, I got to tell you, we were talking with Phil for a bit before we ever got to the podcast, and he is so funny.
Yeah.
He kept asking, are you guys recording? No, because he was telling us some pretty good stuff. Probably we couldn't record.
Yeah, I'd have to edit out.
We still have secrets that you guys don't know.
And to be honest, I already forgot them.
And Phil, they'll never come out in real life from us. So
yeah,
but we did appreciate your candor. Just you made the podcast incredible. It was so much fun.
I would say the one thing I loved was the whole, you talk to one, you talk to all. I was like, wow, that was great when he said that.
Well, you think about it, you are really, even though it's being broadcast over the whole arena, but if you can make them feel it's about them, it's special.
Yeah.
And he has a way of doing that I was totally impressed with his philosophy. That's obviously why he's so successful. So again, if you guys missed that podcast, please listen to it. It was fantastic. Not because we were on it, because Phil was on it. So, and I know I'm going to get an Adam thing about that here in a minute, I'm sure. So,
yeah. Here's Adam. I thought it was an amazing insight. So
yeah, he like I said, hopefully we'll have more in the future for you guys.
Yeah, I'm working on it, and I got, like I said, I got all their big news. I guess I can say it because I'm officially doing it. Just haven't officially started, but I already signed the contract and everything. So I got another podcast job. I am now the Ducks Digest host for Digest Media. So it'll be a daily show. I'll be doing a video a day, probably Monday through Friday, or at least 5 to 6 times a week. So if you guys want to go check out that YouTube channel and subscribe, that would help. And I'm excited to start this new adventure. So I really hope you guys will tune in there. And then we also got David Roska. Roska. Anaheim Ducks will. Oh, I read you commented on the Instagram. Anaheim Ducks will sweep the Edmonton Oilers in Game 4. Anaheim Ducks will win Game 1 this Monday night. Adam says, Gary, you shot yourself in the foot. No need for me to step on it too. So
I can always expect Captain Chaos to, he's kind of like you get that splinter that you can't get out of your finger, and you almost want to cut the end of your finger off just to get rid of it. That's Adam.
In a loving way. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about my new gig, and I'm excited to start it. So I hope everyone tunes in to that. And like I said, it's a new adventure for me, and I'm super excited. And I hope, and if you guys want to go over to Ducks Digest, like I said, I haven't started any videos yet. I'm still doing the tutorial videos. So as long as I don't get any calls the rest of the weekend, I can hopefully finish that this weekend or by Monday, and then start getting videos out hopefully by Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, hopefully. So I'm like I said,
let you know. He'll let you
know. You guys will definitely I'll keep you guys updated on everything. Adam says I'm like athlete's foot, always annoying, but hard to get rid of. That sounds about right. But Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
I would say you hit that on the head, Adam, but you hit that on the foot instead. So thank you for that. Now, hey guys, let's go cheer on Southern California during the playoffs. Let's hope both of our teams do well. You know, you could send us a message if you have any hope that there's a Western Conference final in Southern California where both teams are playing each other, which would be ultimately fantastic.
Yes.
So I hope it happens. It would be fun.
I hope it happens too.
Because it'd bring a lot of more excitement to hockey, just because the upsets would be nothing but what they were talked about. Beating Edmonton, beating Colorado just to start with, and then have to go through like Dallas. Oh my God.
Or
the chances are astronomical.
Yeah. So on that, you know, everyone check out go on YouTube, you know, subscribe like, you know, David Rosca just did. You can comment all the live stream that we have and join in on the fun. And if you want to like add in your hot takes, comments, or questions, you can do it live with us. So please hit the subscribe button on for Royally Quacked. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week. And let's go Ducks!
Go Kings, go! See you next week.
A